Key point 1. Confident women excel in any task. How many female presidents do you know? Probably none. For the longest time, women have taken the back seat at the most powerful tables, their experience relegated to more trivial matters. And we've allowed this to happen, not because of our incompetence, but because of our lack of confidence. Over 7 years, Marilyn Davidson surveyed her students on their expected and deserved earnings 5 years post-graduation. While a man thinks he deserves to earn $80,000 a year, a woman thinks she deserves $64,000. A huge difference of $16,000. This gap is way too dangerous to be considered normal and is proof of an even deeper problem in our world. Women have the same mental capacity as men and can do whatever task they put their minds to. What can be done to save further generations of women from falling into this trap of mediocrity? Simple. Spread the confidence gospel. This is what Katty Kay and Shipman try to do in this book. They detail different steps that can inspire a woman to be more confident while breaking all the glass ceilings that bar her way. Key point 2. Action is the evidence of your confidence. A 2011 study by the Institute of Leadership and Management in the UK found, through a questionnaire, that half of the British women surveyed doubted their work performance and career progression, in contrast to less than a third of men. Linda Babcock, an economics professor at Carnegie Mellon University and an author of Women Don't Ask, also found that in business school, male students were 4 times more likely than their female counterparts to initiate salary negotiations. Furthermore, when women did negotiate, they typically asked for 30% less than men. These findings suggest that women perceive their worth as 20% lower than men's self-valuation. Women hesitate at important moments because they are scared. Scared of what and who is judging them, and because they nurture a fear of failure or a desire to do everything perfectly. This corresponds to research done by Hewlett-Packard, which shows women only apply for promotions when they meet 100% of the requirements, while men, on the other hand, apply when they meet about 60%. Thus, women often feel confident only when they are near perfect or perfect. Some people are always at the forefront of any gathering. They command respect whenever they speak, and people hold their opinions in high regard. Many of these people are not necessarily the smartest, but they are the most confident because it is confidence that moves people to show respect. When you're not confident, you lose your ability to make meaningful contributions and climb higher on the ladder of success. Interestingly, researchers view confidence as crucial for internal well-being, happiness, and a satisfying life. In the workplace, men often exhibit dominance, and traits like assertiveness are both sought after and expected. Key point 3. Skill exercise leads to mastery. Confidence is not just about feeling good about yourself or affirming that you're great, perfect, or strong. That way of thinking hasn't produced a lot of results. According to neuroscientist Adam Kepix from his study of rats, confidence has a distinctive double nature. It is half objective and half subjective. It could manifest as a basic calculation process, a belief that an outcome will be determined by an action or a feeling. Many times, the feeling is what we can relate to. Many young women spend a great deal of time internalizing setbacks and wallowing in self-doubt. This diminishes happiness and reduces the quality of life. Confidence can also seem like a fleeting quality coming only once in a while. This is because, as Utah State University's Christy Glass says, confidence is specific to a domain. A person confident enough to speak in public might not be confident enough to write an essay. This explains why some women feel confident at home, but not at work. Confidence is also built on mastery. The more work and progress a person makes, the more skilled they become at overcoming hurdles. This makes a person more confident to take on tasks of similar nature in the future. The confidence that comes from mastery spreads to other people around you and to any future skills that seem difficult for you. You must have heard the words self-esteem, optimism, self-compassion, and self-efficacy, often used interchangeably with confidence. But research has shown that while they each allow us to improve on the richness of our lives, they're quite different from confidence. Self-esteem is essential for emotional well-being and is different from confidence in that it is more stable than confidence. Confidence, on the other hand, is tied to feelings of what we can achieve, and this list can vary a lot within a short time. Optimism is a close relative of self-esteem. An optimistic person expects a favorable outcome from every situation, but this is not the case as it is subject to a person's interpretation at different times. Optimism usually has nothing to do with how much talent you have, but how positively you interpret the world. The difference between confidence and optimism, though, is in action. Optimism doesn't necessarily prompt an action, but confidence does. In a world where almost everyone is going through a lot, self-compassion connects us to other people and pushes us to be confident. Confidence is not a game played by your mind. It's the real thing. You have to create and use it. Confidence is the stuff that turns thoughts into actions. Katty Kay and Shipman. Many of us hardly ever execute that wonderful plan that we've been nurturing for years because of a lack of confidence and many unrelated excuses. Confidence enables life, impacting all areas by fostering action rooted in self-belief and the ability to succeed. In the end, it's the chances you take that determine your successes, and confidence is the key to unlocking this level of success. Trying to project false confidence for others' approval often fails, as people can easily detect insincerity. Key point 4. Stepping into confidence. Don't dodge challenges. You've probably met 1,001 types of people in your lifetime. Some people appear to glide effortlessly through life and act like they have unlocked the secret to confidence. They do things that many people consider difficult and do not hesitate to take tasks for the things they love. Could this be as a result of their upbringing? Or does their DNA somehow have something that other DNAs don't? This has been the focus of neuropsychologist Steve Suomi's research for over 40 years. By studying the personalities of his monkeys, he discovered that monkeys with confidence aren't anxious, and vice versa. Based on this, he concluded that some monkeys are indeed born with the hard wiring to be more confident than others. Monkeys are our ancient ancestors and have been around to possess the SLC6A4 gene, which is necessary for personality formation and directly affects confidence. 50% of our confidence comes from our genes, and the other 50% is formed from our personal experience. Based on further research, it is true that confidence is encoded in our genes. Everyone is born with a natural inclination towards varying levels of confidence. A behavioral geneticist at King's College London, Robert Plomin, studied 15,000 sets of twins in Britain, and he discovered, among other things, that their self-perceived ability rating was a more significant predictor of their achievement, even more than IQ. He discovered that our genes significantly contribute to our confidence levels. Our brain needs a couple of neurotransmitters to act. Serotonin, which is also present in monkeys, helps us make rational decisions, while oxytocin directly affects confidence because it encourages us to crave social interaction, which paves the way for us to act and take more risks. But this explanation that science offers doesn't account for a person's choice. This is where the long-standing battle between nature and nurture comes in. While we may be born with a more positive disposition toward confidence, our environment still plays a major role in determining whether or not we are confident. With the right training, people born with less genetic confidence can develop solid confidence. Key point 5. Perfection is a myth. It hardly ever exists. Research shows that women earn on average 77 cents to every dollar a man earns. It also shows that 4% of the CEOs in Fortune 500 are women, and 20 of the 100 United States senators are women. The disparity in figures isn't due to lack of ability, as over the past 5 decades, women in the USA have reversed the educational gap to their advantage, obtaining more degrees than men. Studies from Pepperdine to the IMF show that companies with more female employees are more profitable than those with less diversity. Environmental factors play a significant role in the confidence gap observed among women. Sometimes they are very glaring and easy to pinpoint, and at other times they fade into the background, confusing us even more. From elementary school, where women were rewarded for being good instead of being their energetic selves, women have been trained to aim for perfection. This means there are little to no opportunities for mistakes and risk-taking, both important behaviors that build confidence. School settings often fail to equip women with assertiveness and strategies to handle real-world competition. Faced with corporate realities, we tend to believe we don't fit into the world and too often have to put on a mask to convince others that we do. A woman's self-confidence is greatly influenced by her physical appearance at all ages, and women are more likely to critique their looks than men. 90% of women wish to alter some aspect of their appearance. Alarmingly, 81% of 10-year-old girls fear becoming overweight, and a mere 2% of women consider themselves beautiful. It raises the question of whether attractiveness or confidence comes first. The media doesn't help us in this regard, as it continually spews derogatory remarks about women's bodies, but neither are we helping ourselves. Our constant obsession with how we look drains our confidence. This and the fact that we are often thin-skinned in our relationships with others, and overthink every detail of our lives, affecting our confidence more than we know. So why are men not more inclined to feel the way we do about the issues that we face daily? It definitely cannot be because the male brain is different from ours. Research has proved it isn't. Apart from the slight difference in size, there are no significant differences in levels of IQ. Women have higher estrogen levels, which forms our decisions a number of times and is more geared toward avoiding risk and conflict, which makes us too cautious. But on the other hand, we make better decisions and hold bad impulses. Men and women act differently, but not entirely so. Key point 6. Empower your children. These days, a lot of parents are overprotective of their children, and this gives them no space to grow. In a bid to build confidence, many parents praise their children quite a lot. This indulges the kids who have done little to deserve such praise because their parents prevented them from taking risks. Nansuk Park, University of Michigan psychologist, says that the proper way to build confidence in children is to offer them a slow exposure to risk, celebrate wins, and explain losses so that they can grow through learning. When deciding, our brain pulls from past experiences, but we can guide which memories it draws upon. The starting point for anything is the way of thinking. Most women think their abilities are fixed and do not attempt to change them. Men often believe they have the ability to learn almost anything. Developing confidence involves adopting a growth mindset, as the belief in learning new skills motivates taking on new challenges. This fosters a willingness to take risks and bolsters resilience, even in the face of failure. The key to having a growth mindset is to start small. Encourage yourself and the people around you to start small, even if it looks daunting. On the flip side, though, too much encouragement, like anything else, is bad and should be given with care. Failure isn't life-threatening. One failure means courage for other tasks. Key point 7. Embrace failure to build confidence. Nothing builds confidence like action, especially when that action involves risk and failure. This keeps you on the edge and helps you grow and improve. If you always know the outcome of your actions, you will get bored easily. It's okay to start simple and take small steps. Instead of thinking of failure and making yourself feel small, think of the things you have done well and watch yourself break out of the negative feedback loop. Negative automatic thoughts are more frequent than positive thoughts and can multiply quickly, but you can always wrestle them with logic and alternatives. By first recognizing them, you can write them down, but instead of beating yourself up for having those thoughts, look at it from a different perspective. Create another explanation for what you think is wrong. For example, if you become apprehensive when your boss calls, you could link it to them wanting to give you a raise instead of thinking it's because you did something wrong. While some attributes like height or eye color are static, traits like confidence are more flexible and can be developed. You can also get physical by tearing up the written down thoughts. This symbolizes freedom from them and sends your brain a message accordingly. These strategies help to keep toxic thoughts at bay. But focusing on yourself alone won't do the trick you have to master. You also have to deflect focus from yourself and focus on the task at hand because, truth be told, you are not always the focus. Always bring yourself back to the pending issue and not yourself. This shows a willingness to be better at everything you do. To boost your confidence, try to do the following. Meditate regularly so you can have more control of your emotions. Be grateful for everything that comes your way. Break big ideas into smaller chunks. Have enough sleep and exercise often. And sit up straight, chin up, abs in. And while you're trying to win using the tips above, avoid the following. Don't fake it till you make it by pretending to be what you are not. When women are given a fair shot at success, they do well. Katty Kay and Shipman. Did you know? Research shows that 4% of the CEOs in Fortune 500 are women, and 20 of the 100 United States senators are women. Key point 8. Balance effort wisely for optimal advantage. To maintain the confidence you have built across generations, you need to raise your children to be confident from a young age. Confident is not found in empty words that fail to guarantee relief. It is a faith of your children's abilities to make things happen while risking failure and maintaining a sense of inner calm and equilibrium. Every mistake is part of the learning process, so learn to praise your children when they make mistakes and when they get it right. Don't overly criticize bad behavior. They're children after all. Allow them to be themselves, but don't overpraise good behavior either. Confidence in women is often not expressed in the same way.